Electrify my body and you're making me feel like I'm so electric. Everything you do is making me blow, blow, blow. Don't know what to do about it, can't seem now to live without it. All I wanna do is just no, no, no. You suffocate my mind and now my atmosphere is crowded, and you being here is making me blow, blow, blow. You penetrate my space and now I'm looking out of place and you're making it.
What's up, guys? It's Jake here from HookahRev.com, bringing you webisode number 3 for Ask Jake. This week we got 5 questions selected, so if you haven't seen what Ask Jake is all about, there's been already, this would be the 3rd episode. Basically it's just a Q&A, so you guys post in the previous video all the questions in the comments below what you want to ask, and hopefully you get selected. And if your question is selected, you get $5 worth of reward points credited on HookahRev.com for all your hookah shopping needs. So, yeah, bonus. Good times. So let's move right into it. Question number 1. Alright, so it sounds like you've got a decent setup here. Well, actually a really good setup. The KM Emperor, it's a nice looking hookah. So, well, looking has nothing to do with functional. But anyway, yeah, so any KM hookah, if you're setting it up right with the correct water level, we mentioned in the last video, about an inch above the stem as far as water. So use that guideline, but to answer your question, your bowl has a lot to do with it. If you want to go and buy another bowl, be sure to check out which bowl you should buy. So if you smoke a lot of Starbuzz, try to get your hands on a Vortex bowl. If you smoke a lot of Alfakar or Tangier's Nakla, then get yourself a funnel bowl. Just with that small upgrade alone, you'll see a very big difference. I don't think you'll have a problem with your hose just because your KM probably came with a KM hose, so there's no real big issues with that. But the bowl, definitely an Egyptian bowl, you can get great clouds out of that, no doubt. But depending on how you're packing it and how small of an Egyptian bowl, if they gave you like a little tiny one with only 1 coal capacity or even 2 coal capacity, then that's going to be where you're running into issues. So I told you guys a little while ago in the first introductory video that I was going to be opinionated in these Ask Jakes, because they're not reviews, you guys are just picking my brain. So to answer this question, you want to get flavor out of hookah. Unfortunately, hookah, it tastes, some of them taste really strong up front, but the flavor does die out quickly. That is one of the downfalls of the brand. Yeah, given the price point. Yeah. So anyways, so there's no real tricks for me here. My suggestion to you would be, it sounds like you're more so wanting to entertain other people because you smoke more of the off brands like I Am Zaman and Nakla like that. A lot of that's not really a party pleaser, definitely not by any means. But if you switch brands, go check out Starbuzz flavors, Fumari flavors, even Fantasia flavors. Those are typically the biggest crowd pleasers, and you're going to get full flavor for the hour, the 2 hours, however you pack it. That's where you're going to see more of the results. As far as hookah goes, it's unfortunately just the tobacco itself that you're kind of being held back on. So don't keep running around in circles, don't blame yourself. It's just the tobacco. It dies out very quickly as far as the flavor goes. This is a phenomenal question, and I love answering this one. I don't know why. But I can smoke anywhere from 0 bowls, which is rare, to the upwards of 10 bowls per day. And here's a little bit of a secret that I have not really divulged to the public. I mean, I'll tell friends, customers at the lounge, whoever asks me about this in person, but I used to smoke cigarettes. So, yeah, I'm a little bit ashamed of it, but you know what? We all have a past. But yeah, I don't notice any health issues. Mind you, big disclaimer right here, I am not a doctor. Okay? I have no medical degree. I have a degree, but I don't have a medical degree. But, yes, did you catch that? I am not a doctor. So, yeah. I'm just a real world example. Basically, when I was smoking cigarettes, I smoked probably for about 6 years. Every day I felt like shit, and I was always out of breath. I probably got sick about 7, 8 times a year. But now I've been smoking for hookah for about 5, almost the same. So yeah, maybe 5 years now. And I get sick 0 to 1 times a year now. I get a cold. I mean, the only thing that really bugs me from time to time are allergies, like now when the weather's changing. But yeah, I'm rarely out of breath because I don't work out a ton, but I don't work out really a lot. I just work a lot. But I don't get out of breath. Even running up a flight of stairs or anything like that, I don't get out of breath like I used to with cigarettes. Now, I'm not trying to compare the cigarettes to hookah right here because that's a completely different topic, and I will cover that one day. But without doing any sort of medical testing, I notice a huge difference. I don't have any health issues right now. I don't have that coughing or the hack that a lot of the cigarette smokers do. But yeah, the worst I'll get is a headache if I smoke too much. But if you don't use instant-like coals or any kind of like, I notice more with the wood coals. The coconut coals almost give me no headache even if I do smoke my 10 bowls. And it probably isn't a full 10 bowls a day that I smoke max. On average, I'll smoke about 4 or 5 bowls a day just because throughout the lounge. 4 or 5 full bowls. That's an hour to an hour and a half session. So, yeah, I mean, it's hookah. It's not anything else, despite what the media says. And now I'm running off on a tangent. I don't want to, so I'm going to stay on track. Question number 4. Alright, this kind of runs into the previous question. When you are smoking hookah, yes, you are actually vaporizing the hookah. Now that's a little bit different if you pack your tobacco high, so it depends on what you're smoking. But if you've got coals onto tobacco direct contact, like if you pack your tobacco higher, then you are essentially smoking something. So don't think that you're not really smoking. You are essentially vaporizing because the coals are heating up the tobacco through the foil, but a lot of us, we like ours a little bit harsher and a little bit stronger, so we'll pack it a little bit higher to get that burning sensation a little bit stronger of a smoke. So yes, you are vaporizing it essentially, but you're definitely smoking a little bit. But the main difference is when you're done with a hookah bowl, you can open it up, everything's still in there. Versus a cigarette or a cigar, when you burn it up, where's the cigarette? It's completely gone. It's in your lungs. And again, I'm not trying to say that you're not smoking at all, because you're definitely getting some sort of smoke because you are burning off the tobacco as well as the glycerin and all that. But it's definitely not to the same extent. It is getting filtered through the water, it's traveling through the hose, that's why it's a lot less harsh than a cigarette hit. So, but as far as the stem myth, it's a myth. It does definitely hold more of the liquid. I wouldn't say smoking stems is more flavorful. If you get if you separate all the stems out and all the tobaccos and you load that up and you smoke it, it's not going to be pleasant. I know on a particular brand of tobacco, shisha, they actually say that the stem retains full flavor. Well, alright, it holds the liquid. I pick my stems out. I don't like how it gets harsh and all that. It may or may not give you a headache. I haven't proven any different either way, but it doesn't, when I get stems in a batch of tobacco, I don't go out of my way to load that because it's stems. You're not smoking the tobacco leaf. But the glycerin and all the basically the juices in it, it consists typically of vegetable glycerin, flavoring, sometimes honey and molasses, of course, to sum it all up. The more that's in there, basically the bigger clouds you're going to get. So in the drier tobaccos, like Nakhla, you're not going to get as huge of clouds unless you're putting an immense amount of heat on it, like 3 or 4 coals. But I wouldn't gauge it like that. I can get as big of clouds out of, let's say, Nakhla as I can out of Starbuzz. It just depends on how you're packing it. But typically that is the perception, that the more juices in there, the more flavorful it's going to be. But that's not correct. It's how you pack it. It's the brand of tobacco that you're using. Actually, let's take alfalfa for example. It's kind of a midpoint. It's not too dry. It's not dry. It's not extremely juicy, with an exception of a few. But I pack that high. It's definitely not as dripping as, let's say, Starbuzz is. But the smoke that you get on that is tremendous because of how you pack it. That's what it comes down to. Last question. I'm so glad you asked this, because hands down all day, get a single O's hookah. I don't care what anybody else says, get a single O's hookah. It's less chance for failure, less chance for leaks, less chance for breakage. Just get a single hose hookah. You're going to get the best performance out of it. Learn to pass the hose. If you say you have 10-15 people over, a 3-hose hookah, a 4-hose hookah, it's not going to fix it. Get more hookahs. Did that sound like a dick just there? I may have. Okay, so, but really, I mean, if I'm entertaining people, like over at my house, I will have about 3 hookahs going, even for 5 or 6 people, just because it's different flavors, it's going around. With multi-hose hookahs, a lot of them are self-purging, but still, there's opportunity for failure. There's always going to be that guy, and I know some of you guys are out there that are that guy, that actually blow into it while someone else is purging, and then boom, you've got a volcano reaction. That sucks. But yeah, a lot of the best hookahs, or all the best hookahs out there, are going to be the single hose. Again, less opportunity for failure. So please, get a single hose hookah. So this was Jake with HookahRev.com, bringing you webisode number 3 for Ask Jake. If your question was selected, if you saw your name here, check your inbox, because I'm going to have sent you a message on YouTube for your email address that your HookahRev.com account is associated with. That's HookahRev.com online store, so I can credit your account. If you don't respond, I can't credit you. So respond, please. Okay? So until next time, this is Jake. Follow up with a Black Friday special video by tomorrow. See you guys next time.